The reactions are rolling in. Alan, you have a link. Let's talk about, we have talked about Wicked quite a bit. You and I both fans of the musical. I unabashedly a fan of the musical. I love it. And the film is now beginning to screen. Neither you or I has seen it.
Yes.
But the first reactions are in. The first reactions are in, but I'll say this. The entire thing has been, has been diminished by that poster controversy from Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba. She talked about how she did not take kindly to the poster being altered so her eyes could not be seen. And I figured out, I have not seen the movie, but I've seen the trailer, and I am not looking forward to this incarnation. The play I've seen 4 times and loved it every single time. Love the play. But I finally figured out why something that just feels off. And I think it is the casting of Cynthia Erivo, which I think is miscast. You know who she reminds?
Let's be clear. The person, not the identity.
Yes, the person. Yes. She reminds me of someone. And when I say it, you cannot unsee it. She reminds me of Joy Reid.
Oh, Joy.
Do you know who that is? The MSNBC. Now, I've never watched a Joy Reid, show, but I've seen many clips of her giving what I think are incredibly bad takes.
Very divisive takes on things.
They're very divisive takes. Very, very divisive. And this woman, Cynthia Erivo, reminds me of Joy Reid in a way. And the fact that she's made this character all about her identity has kind of soured me on the film. Plus the fact that it looks super digital, overproduced. It's 2 movies. They are milking this. I don't know. Before we get into the first reactions, Alan, if you would,
So I'm just reading all the green cat comments in the chat. Okay, so we've talked about it. So a screening had gone out. You and I was not invited to the screening, but when I read this article, you will see a lot of our friends in this article. So here we go. Wicked perfectly captures the magic. In first reactions, praising Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo. The film, part 1 of 2 in John M. Chu's film adaptation of the Broadway banger. Wicked is about to be popular. First reactions to director John M. Chu's film adaptation of the Broadway musical on Wednesday saw audiences raving about performances from Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, while also praising the movie's production quality. Simon Thompson called the movie an awesome spectacle that pops and enchants on the big screen, adding that the movie is an absolutely stunning vision and that Grande and Erivo knock it out of the park. Wicked will be the first of 2 Chu's films adapting the hit musical. Part 2 will be set for Thanksgiving in 2025. The show originally... Okay, so that goes in the history of it. On X, formerly Twitter, original Broadway Galinda Chenoweth wrote that audiences will all be changed for good upon the film's release, adding that she's counting down the days. Wicked is a cinematic spectacle that serves as one of the very best big screen adaptations of Broadway musical ever, Scott Menzel wrote in X. John M. Chu perfectly captures the magic of the Broadway show while adding some of his own unique flourishes to the source material. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo completely knock it out of the park as Elphaba and Galinda. John Bailey is also quite phenomenal in the film. Wicked lives up to the hype and often succeeds at and there's one scene that fans of the Broadway show will absolutely lose their minds over. Wicked is hands down one of those films.
One of the year's best films. I also know Scott Menzel.
Yes.
We know a lot of these people. You and I were not invited. Now, I'll say this.
Okay.
real quick, my opinion on this has been soured by Cynthia Erivo's, her lashing out. It really has been soured. I was looking forward to this until I saw the trailer. And then I saw the second trailer. Then I saw the Lego trailer. Then I saw Cynthia Erivo lashing out. And I'm not, look, my mind could be changed. And I will. Look, if I love the movie, I'm going to tell you I love the movie. And Alan loves musicals. He's very theatrical.
I love this musical. I love the music. I've seen it 3 times.
Same. So what's your reaction to the reaction?
Okay, so I'll react to the article specifically in a moment, but what stuck out to me with this article was a tactic that has been employed recently, and that is to have a screening, fill it up with critics who I assume the studio knew or figured out that they would like this movie, and only invite those. And then you show them the screening. They go out and do their social impressions, and an article like this is written. So this is, I believe Disney has done this as well, where they'll take their premiere, they'll invite all these super hardcore Disney influencers and critics, show them the movies for one reason only, and that's to get this movie at 100% on Rotten before everyone else sees it.
Right.
Because they are getting ahead of us, because I think they know that this movie's in trouble and that this movie is going to get specific comments. And therefore, by getting the critics that they know will like this film, getting them out ahead of us, then that basically puts them at first move. And then when we come in and say the obvious about the film, that's when the conflict and the clash on social media will begin.
All right.
Your thoughts?
I agree with you. I'll just say we'll go to comments in a sec, but I just you're right. They get ahead of it, and they it's almost like, I don't want to say the words election interference, but that's what it is. They interfere so that the initial score is super high. It will reduce as more reviews come in.
Yeah. Rings of Power did it. The Acolyte did it. Agatha All Along did it. It's just you load it with the fans and sycophants of that property, and then when the real reviews come in, it just creates this kind of battle that no one really wants to have. We just want to have a normal conversation about this, and we can't have that.
Let's go to your comments.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to show was let's see. So they interviewed Kristen Chenoweth. Here we go. So she wrote, "Our audiences all be changed for the good. Wicked is a cinematic spectacle that serves as one of the very best big screen Broadway adaptation musicals ever." I just get the feeling that Warner Brothers is pushing quotes on them.
They're not pushing us. They're not pushing. You and I were not part of this group. We were not part of the early group that got to see it, and make of that what you will.
Right. These things are being said. Awesome spectacle. It just, I don't know. I know Simon. I know Scott. I don't read their reviews a lot, but for some reason this just doesn't sound like them. And so I feel like they might be getting a little bit of help and quotes from the publicist.